We've already had several options.
We're going to get started here with roll call.
Okay, we'll start with Delaware County. John Early is excused. Lou Jones.
Yes, sir.
Pat Billmeter.
Here.
Steve Hood.
Here.
Okay, Fulton County. Yvonne Hart is working. Jack Farquhar.
Here.
Howard Heim.
Here.
Bill Dunham.
Here.
Okay, Hamilton County. Cindy Dunham is working. Joyce Belidi.
She's here. Here.
She's here.
I'm
Bill
just
Belidi,
looking at my
present.
new
Gary
job
Wicks.
title.
Here.
Okay, Montgomery County. Tom Pasquarelli.
Here.
Vicki Swartz.
Here.
Trish Green.
Here.
Jared Gilson. He's working. Otsego County. Sid Chase.
Here.
Brian Knapp.
Here.
Dr. Markowitz.
Here.
Dana Wygant.
Here.
Rick Kirschman. Oh, well, a very nice gold star for Otsego County today. Very good. Schoharie County. Andy Cuccinello. Edward Brandt. Bill Beavers. Nobody. Okay.
So if they don't get a gold star, what do
They don't get a gold star. I don't know what kind of star they'll
Black
get.
star.
Mark Zink is away. Poor devil is being held hostage in Florida. I told him there's quite a bit of stuff on hostage situations on the web these days. Mark is excused, and Dr. Leinhardt.
Here.
Present. And sir, we have a quorum.
Okay, very good.
Garbage can.
And the approval of our minutes from last month's meeting. Second. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed or abstained? Just some guests.
We have some guests. We have Rich Beebe is here. Howard Youth, welcome. Mary Ramo and Joe Farrell from the other side of the dark side, the shadowy side of the track. Beth McGowan is here. And we welcome Maggie Wilson, who is, I understand, is the new EMS coordinator for Delaware County. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Congratulations to her and welcome. And you're always welcome, Maggie. Okay, that's our guest.
Thank you. Just got to back up a second before we go any further. We have I'd like to have a moment of silence for a former Trout Creek member of Trout Creek for 11 years, Jim Baker, passed this past week. And so if we could just have a moment of silence for him. Thank you. Correspondence. Everyone get a copy of the correspondence? And let's see. I have no report over it in the secretary report.
All right. Just to let you know, the federal reimbursement rate for mileage is now 56 cents a mile, no longer 55.5 cents. You'll notice the increment in your paychecks, by the way. January 24th, Martha Galkey of DOH advised that this regional council was one of only 6 that had 100% agency completion of the recent DOH pediatric survey. Each REMSCO had a random number of agencies contacted in its boundaries to complete the online survey, and there were only 6 of them that were 100%, including ourselves. So that's a pat on the collective back. A meeting for all EPCR agencies and AAREMS has been set for Thursday, February 27th. Excuse me, that's for Friday, February 27th.
No, Thursday. Thursday.
Oh, it's a week from today. Okay, I was right the first time. I take it back. 11 o'clock in the morning at GAVAC headquarters in Amsterdam. Mike Taylor of DOH requested an EPCR get-together for folks in the region who are EPCR agencies. So far we have 6 agencies that indicated they will attend, and probably there will be more as we get closer to the date. On January 29th, we received a letter from the Otsego County EMS Advisory Council renominating Sid Chase for another term of office on the Regional Council. So I would like to make a motion at this time that his nomination for another term of office on this council be accepted by this region, and he be so appointed. So I'll make that motion. Seconded by Brian Knapp.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Thank you.
And welcome once again, Sid, of course. On February 3rd, we received a report from Greg Viss of the Hudson Simulation Services detailing his training schedule in the region as follows. February the 5th at the Otsego County EMS office, February 26th at the Delaware County EMS office, February 29th at Scarsa, February 19th, pardon me, not 29th, that's a leap year, February 19th at Scarsa, February 25th, Gloversville Fire Department, February 28th, ambulance service of Fulton County, and March 17th, Middleburg. He advises that plans are to visit one site a week until May, and he noted that we would be kept informed of his plans for training. On February 3rd, Lou forwarded a letter to our office by fax. It had been received by his hospital. It was from the DOH Wadsworth Labs and cautioned against the quote-unquote off-label use of glucometers. That struck me as an odd phrase, but anyway, it seemed to indicate that glucometers could only be used with patients who had been previously diagnosed with diabetes, whether in hospital or pre-hospital. I asked Lee Burns about this by email. She replied that the EMS Bureau was trying to resolve the issue. Our REMAC physicians were forwarded this information on February the 4th, and after an email had been received by us from Dan Clayton of DOH, all AAREMS and REMAC members were also informed on February the 4th. Part of the information forwarded was a notation from Dr. John Broderick of the Mountain Lakes region, and I don't know what the bottom line is on this. I don't know if the bottom line has been written yet about this glucometer, pre-hospital glucometer use, but this would seem to indicate that our protocols for glucometer use are displeasing to the DOH Wadsworth Labs. So stay tuned. We'll find out what's going on. Unless Mary has something further to say about it at this time, or Joe? Joe's not.
Okay, we don't really know any more about it.
Okay. Alrighty. On February 10th, we received information on CD plus covering letters from Dana Jonas at Department of Health in the matter of the proposed Rural Metro Ambulance CON request to allow transfer of stock during their reorganization period. More about that in the committee meeting, in the committee section. On February the 11th, we received a written request from Cherry Valley for approval to begin EPCR use. I would like to make a motion that we approve Cherry Valley Agency for electronic PCR usage.
Second.
By Dana, okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained?
On February 13th, we received word of an AED used by the Delaware County Sheriff's Office it had been used on January 31st. The patient was a 64-year-old male who unfortunately did not respond to resuscitative efforts. On February 18th, we received an email from Dan Clayton at the Department of Health advising that the primary operating territory for the Lawrence Fire Department Emergency Squad had been revised and now was for the Lawrence Fire District only. On February 19th, I forwarded a copy of it to Dr. Markowitz, who was the Lawrence Medical Director. I didn't know if he had heard about it separately, so I forwarded it to him by email. Also on February 19th, we received an email from Dan Clayton with a copy of a letter to the Downsville Agency regarding their operating territory, asking them for clarification of their present operating territory. Apparently this is being done, obviously, statewide. And we have a notice of an enforcement action against a gentleman in North Tonawanda, New York. This will be fully written in the minutes. He was suspended for 1 year, effective 12/15/13. The suspension was stayed, and he was penalized a civil penalty of $2,000 for violations of Part 800 of the code, rules and regulations of the New York State Code. And that serves my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Treasurer's report.
Okay. A printed report of the cash flow and balance sheet was distributed to all members. Mr. Jones, Mr. Heim, Mr. Chase, Mr. Pasquarelli, and Mr. Farquhar first received detailed cash flow balance sheets and register reports, plus copies of canceled checks as per the review arrangements agreed on to meet audit standards. Their report is?
We found everything to be up above board.
On December 30th, we received a check for $1,650 from the Department of Health as payment for a CLI course 113050. We conducted that course on September 28th and 29th at SUNY Cobleskill. The voucher had been submitted for payment on September 30th, 2013. We got paid on December 30th. On January the 6th, we sent to Lisa DeLong the council deliverables for the period from October the 1st to December 31st, plus a voucher for $14,908.63 for expenses for that period. We also sent her the program agency deliverables and a voucher for $35,717.57 for program expenses for that same period. On February 7th, we received a check for $50,626.20 as payment in full for both of the vouchers. We're currently up to date in all our voucher requests to the Department of Health. And that serves my report.
Okay, thank you very much. The And approval of the treasurer's report, do we have a motion? Motion by Howard,
I'll second.
second by Dana. Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained?
Joyce and I will abstain as staff members.
Alrighty, committee report, program agency, you wanna go into that, thing on, rural metro now?
No, do that.
Transfer station. Nothing else on program agency?
Nothing to report, except that our new copier in the office is working just beautifully. Just beautiful. I like, throwing good news when I can.
Has Joyce used it yet?
Joyce has used it, yes? Oh, yes.
Joyce, can you find it in the office?
Yes, I can find it. His new filing cabinet is full and his office is a little less cluttered.
I stand corrected. My new filing cabinet that I was authorized to purchase a month or so ago, that is not yet full. It's only about barely half full. Barely half. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Okay, transportation standards.
Oh, training.
Oh, training, I'm sorry, Joyce.
Training, we spoke this morning about the certified instructor update, tentatively scheduled for Saturday, June 7th. I'm going to ask Cobblesville Fire Department again if they would mind if we use the fire hall. It's a nice venue for it. And worked out a tentative agenda and with the help of the training committee. So we'll as soon as we get this scheduled, I'll send this out and everything's set.
Joyce, what date was that?
7th, June 7th, I'm sorry.
Anything else, Joyce?
No.
Okay, now transportation standards.
Transportation standards, all appropriate notifications from us in the case of the Racket Lake Transfer of Operating Authority have been made. Some routine follow-up paperwork is being done between the agency and the Department of Health. It's very routine paperwork. There's been a flurry of emails about it, but they are moving up to a paramedic level of service, and since they have essentially a new agency with a new agency code, they are doing some paperwork and asking me in a number of emails what paperwork has to be done, but that's fine. On February 10th, we received information on CD plus covering letters from Dana Jonas at the Department of Health in the matter of the proposed Rural Metro Ambulance CON request to allow transfer of stock during their reorganization period. They're currently in bankruptcy nationwide. Copies of all this information were sent to the Transportation and Standards Committee, and let me read you the letter that was sent, that we received and that was sent to the committee. This is actually more of a memo. Attention council chairpersons of the regional EMS councils regarding a CON action notice in the matter of transfer of stock of the Rural Metro Corporation. The Department of Health Bureau of Emergency Medical Services is providing the following regional EMS councils a redacted copy of an application for transfer of stock greater than 10% by the parent corporation of Rural Metro Corporation. The underlying purpose of the stock transfer being related to a court order authorizing the restructuring of the corporation in order to settle indebtedness. Several years ago, the department assisted regional councils in a similar manner when Rural Metro Corporation first sought to add a major investment firm as a shareholder. The process that the department is using to assist the 8 councils is identical to the last time this was done. Each council is being sent a data CD that was enclosed with this letter and sent to our members of our committee with all the application information for all of the Article 30 PHS CON actions that the applicant is responsible for. Legal counsel for the applicant will contact each REMSCO separately to submit filing fees required by each council. The department has conducted a fitness and competency review, a copy of which is also enclosed. I have that here. If your council, CON committee, or reviewer have questions regarding those rural metro services within your jurisdiction, inquiries should be directed to the applicant. Matters of CON procedure may be directed to the department. However, administratively, this TOS CON, as transfer of stock CON, should be managed the same as any other action of its kind submitted to your council. The councils receiving the applications include Wyoming Erie, Finger Lakes, Big Lakes, Central New York, Monroe Livingston, Mid-State, Southern Tier, and Adirondack-Appalachian. Because no public hearings are required for your council's determination, and at the individual ambulance and ALSFR service level, no change of assets or operational capacity to provide EMS is anticipated, council should be able to proceed to a council vote at the next regularly scheduled meeting for each REMSCO. And this was received by us on February 10th. Documentation of council actions and roll call votes should be documented in the usual fashion. Thank you for your attention to this statutory matter. Sincerely, Dana Jonas, Department of Health EMS Bureau. Regarding statement of fitness and competency, this is from Joe Farrell to us, received on February 10th also. The Department of Health Bureau of Emergency Medical Services has completed the fitness and competency review of the following individuals and entities: Oak Tree Capital Management, Visium Asset Management LP, Fidelity Management and Research Company, DW Investment Management LP, and the individuals Michael P. Harmon, Stephen D. Farber, Eric Chian-Min Liu, David Tanner, Robert Fisher, Scott A. Bartos, and Sean Dylan Carney. Based on the Department's investigation and review, there appears to be no bar to these entities and individuals' fitness and competency, as described in Article 30, Section 3005, subsection 8 of the New York State Public Health Law. This determination is based on the information provided to the Department and the information contained in public record. This will serve as your official notification. As a conservation measure, the Department will not be sending this review via the U.S. Postal Service. Please feel free to contact this office if you have any questions regarding this notice. This is respectfully Joseph Farrell. I received 2 days ago a brief letter from the law firm of Taddeo and Shahan in Syracuse, New York. Dear council members, please, enclosed, please find check number 77000003160 in the amount of $3,000 as required by your regional council to process the transfer of operating authority application for the Rural Metro Corporation / WP Rocket Holdings Incorporated transfer of assets to a consortium of investment funds. You should have received a CD containing the complete application directly from the Department of Health, along with a completed fitness and competency review. Please place this application on the agenda for your next available meeting and advise us of the date of same by return letter, telephone call, or email. Please contact me if you need anything further to consider the application. Well, I contacted them not because we needed anything further, but because when they called us 2 weeks or so ago, I told them that our fee was $2,000, but they sent me a check for $3,000. So I have to ask them, was this largesse on their part or an inadvertence? In any event, I didn't deposit the check yet until I get some explanation, and this is certainly the first time we've ever been given more money than we asked for in a CON situation.
So just take the money and run.
Was it?
Don't say nothing.
It's 2,000, not 2,500?
No, it's 2,000. No, 5,000 is for a CON, regular CON, for expansion of operating territory. 2,000 is for uncontested transfer of operating authority. This isn't exactly a transfer of operating authority. It's a transfer of authority to transfer stock. But
It's not operating.
It's ownership transfer.
Stock.
stock, right. In any event, there is no impediment to our considering the Rural Metro application by roll call vote at this time. So I would propose that we do so if it is agreeable to the chair.
Maybe check for a year and draw interest on it like the state does us.
I definitely would deposit the check and we can reimburse them if need be.
Yeah,
Okay,
that would make sense.
yeah, I'll do that.
Or don't say anything, and just keep the money.
Just take the money and run. I will deposit it, and I have a call into the law firm, and the competent party to answer my question is not in the office. So I will be hearing from them, and if there is an unanticipated overage, we will return it from our CON fund.
The CON process, is that the flat for this, the $2,000, or is there something in there that says we have to refund them money that we don't use?
No, we say $2,000. No, we don't refund my son.
Non-refundable.
Yeah, but all we asked for was 2,000. We got 3. So now the last time, a couple of years ago, when Rural Metro was doing a restructuring, this same law firm contacted us and said that the usual fee in this case was $3,000. Was that acceptable to us? And we said, of course, we said yes. Maybe that's what they were thinking of when they sent us this check, but we'll find out. We'll clarify.
Well, it's
Well, it's a little, okay.
public hearing. The first floor, there's no public hearing.
No.
You just $3,000 to say yes?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or no.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, if we say no, maybe we'll get another check for $3,000.
In any event, may I propose the following resolution? And having proposed it, then I will make a motion, and then we can have a discussion on it as needs be. Resolved that the consolidated application received from Rural Metro Ambulance to allow a transfer of the majority of the stock of WP Rocket Holdings Incorporated from a group of private equity funds managed by Warburg Pincus to a consortium of funds as set forth in the submitted statement is approved. So a yes vote means we agree with what they are applying for. A no vote is obviously negative, and if somebody wishes to abstain, there is room for that also. We have I will make that motion. We do have a voting quorum as per regulations of CON, mandatory statutes for CON processes. So, if there's
Do we have a second?
I was second.
Okay, seconded.
Motion been made and seconded. Call for the vote.
Okay. Do we have any discussion on it? I'll do a roll call vote then by county, as we are accustomed to do. Delaware County, Mr. Early is absent. Lou Jones.
Yes, sir.
Patrice Delameter.
Yes.
Steve Hood.
Yes.
Fulton County, Lon Hart is absent. Jack Farquhar.
Yes.
Howard Heim.
Yes.
Jill Dunham.
Yes.
Hamilton County, Cindy Dunham is absent. Joyce Malidi.
Yes.
Phil Malidi votes yes. Al Dunham is alternate, not here. Gary Wicks.
Yes.
Montgomery County, Thomas Pasquarelli.
Yes.
Michael Ford.
Yes.
Patricia Green.
Yes.
Jared Gilston is absent. Otsego County, Sidney Chase.
Yes.
Brian Knapp.
Yes.
Dr. Markowitz.
Yes.
Dana Wygant.
Yes.
We do not need an alternate vote, Richard, so that's why we didn't call your name, because you have a full complement, as per our bylaws. Schoharie County, Henry Cuccinello is absent. Edward Brand, absent. And William Beavers, absent. Remac Chair, Dr. Leinhardt.
Yeah.
The tally, we have 17 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstentions. The motion is approved.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Have anything else on transportation standards?
Nothing on transportation standards. No, sir.
Okay, there's nothing new on state council. They haven't met again until,
I don't think they've set a date yet. I don't know if they've set it or not. Beth, do you know if another date, did Mark
I
say?
don't believe so.
Okay.
They're interviews into DRFs.
Mary, could you, Lou was just asking me about the role with the renewing the contracts for the examinations service statewide. Could you give us a little update on that?
As of now, the official answer is we are still good through March. It appears that PSE will be extending their contract. They're working towards that. We're hoping, as of now, it sounds as if exams will be good through August, definitively. Andy Johnson's been dedicating a lot of time to this, so they're making progress. But the official answer is we're still good through March, and it's looking better each day.
Good.
good.
Okay.
Okay, program
Updates, I don't have any program updates, no?
program director meeting, any other program updates?
That was good.
Dr. Leinhardt, you have anything else from REMAC?
No.
Okay.
We were watching the news.
I did have a question, and I don't know if Steve can answer this or not. I thought it was kind of interesting that the Broome County Sheriff deputies are going to be carrying intranasal Narcan in their cars now. And I don't know if they're all EMTs or what. Do you know anything about that?
They're not.
There's a 2006 law that gives permission. It's an opioid overdose prevention program. And it's in directly correlated to the fact that one of the BCC, however many C's professors overdosed. And there, I've seen recently, somewhere up in the Albany area, there's police doing it. I mean, every other week I
Most of
see
the-
another.
Most of the samples that were gathered in the pilot program came from the Suffolk and Nassau County Police Departments.
The Saratoga County's had it for 5 years.
Saratoga's had it, Rensselaer's
Saratoga
had it.
Sheriff's. Yeah.
So a lot of police departments, it's put out by the AIDS Institute in the opiate overdose program.
Prevention program, yeah. But it's allowable by a 2006 law that was kind of a friends and family effort to get it out there for people who could immediately react to something.
And the other caveat to go with it is, if you call because of an overdose, police come with this, they cannot arrest you because of the drug overdose.
Oh.
This was a, call us, we'll save your life, we won't arrest you this time.
It's kind of ironic, not being accusatory, but it's kind of ironic that this professor that died of an overdose is a professor of law.
Hmm.
Um,
I saw that, yeah.
But it was unbelievable the way they wrote it up in the paper. The friend that was with him said he did a couple lines of coke and actually he wasn't breathing.
The other question that's coming is along the same lines, and thanks to our lovely phone system, I don't know if you've gotten any, Joe. Now that it's been passed into a BLS protocol, the intranasal Narcan, is there any funding for it? We have not, as the Bureau of EMS, heard of funding for it. We have directed people, call the AIDS Institute and see what they tell you. But now that the pilot program is done, it's probably on your own dime. But there's been several phone calls along. I don't know if they're giving them to you.
No, they're all yours.
Okay.
I'm going to forward all my
All right.
phone calls to Dana.
Well, thank you. On the county reports, so start with Delaware County.
Maggie is the new EMS coordinator, effective on last Tuesday. She started, so she's getting her feet wet. I'm getting my feet wet as the new director. Other than that, we've got 2 basic classes finishing in March, thank God. And
All back.
the critical care class is due to test out in September, so we'll see where that goes.
Okay. Good. Very good. Otsego?
I think it's business as usual as far as I
I just wanted to clarify about the CON change in the Lawrence Fire District. The Lawrence Fire District is made up of 3 fire departments, which is the Lawrence, Mount Vision, and West Lawrence Fire Department. They sent a letter back December 17th for clarification of our operating territory for the Lawrence Emergency Squad. And our Board of Fire Commissioners, whom it was sent to, blew the letter off and never responded. I urged them at 3 different meetings to actually respond to that, and our Board of Fire Commissioners just blew it off, as well as the lawyer. So Bobby O'Brien had sent an email back saying that we operate in the Lawrence Fire District, not including Mount Vision and West Lawrence. Our CON now, well, not the new one that they just issued, but the one before, said the Lawrence Fire District encompassing Mount Vision, West Lawrence, and Lawrence. So with conversations of Dan Clayton and the email that came from Bobby O'Brien, they just said that it covers the Lawrence Fire District now, and said that we're not primary operating for Mount Vision or West Lawrence, that is incorrect. The Mount Vision Fire Department and West Lawrence Fire Department are part of the town of Lawrence and the Lawrence Fire District. So I again urged our Board of Fire Commissioners and the lawyer for the Board of Fire Commissioners to respond to Dan Clayton's requests, and I haven't heard anything back, but it doesn't really change, I don't think, our response area, because there is no such thing as Mount Vision or West Lawrence. They're just little hamlets in the town of Lawrence. So the wording is
It almost sounds like semantics then.
it is, it's semantics. And our Board of Fire Commissioners don't really care for EMS, hence why they blow things off.
Right.
We're seeing that a lot. We've had 3 or 4 of them in Delaware County. The Board of Fire Commissioners have blown off because they don't understand it, I don't think, and they just don't want to ask anybody, so. Dan has been sending them to our office as well, so we're trying to find somebody on the squad that, you know, cares enough to make sure that the Board of Fire Commissioners on that respective department pays attention to it.
It's tough for me. I mean, I've been to 3 or 4 now, 4 Board of Fire Commissioners meetings, being the chief of Lawrence Fire Department now. I've been to these meetings and tried to get them to do it, and they just, I don't know what their problem is.
For practical
Get them
purposes.
to respond to New York State Department of Health.
For practical purposes, do you think it will make any difference in response, in actual response, EMS response?
No. No. It's just the wording on the CON. It makes it look like we're responding outside our CON territory.
Yeah.
And our territory is and has always been West Lawrence, Mount Vision, and Lawrence. I mean, we have 1 ambulance that covers the 3 fire departments.
Too bad you can't get it over to reading the town of Lawrence.
Yeah,
It would
exactly.
really clear it up,
Exactly.
because fire districts change.
Exactly.
But township boundaries don't change.
But, I mean, it'd be simple wording from the fire district to do it, but I don't know what it is about our fire district. They're just, it's horrible.
You're not alone there.
It's absolutely horrible.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Anything from Scary? Nobody here?
Nobody there.
Okay. Montgomery?
Our refresher course is in full swing, due to test out in March. And we have an EMT original starting April 16th that there are still seats available for, as well as all of our other education that's in pamphlets on that table.
Bolton?
Nothing new.
Hamilton?
Our 2 courses are starting to wind down now. We're a little bit nervous, they are, but we're doing well. We still only lost the 1 to the U.S. Army, but they're all hanging in there.
Very good. Okay. Any old business for this council?
Old business, I would just like to ask again if there's anything new about the availability of paper blank PCRs. A lot of people are asking me. We are virtually out of PCRs in the office. I think I have 3 packs left, packs of 250 each, and I'm rationing them out as I get requests. People request and usually do get a pack of 250. I can't send them that many. I can only send them a fraction of that. So I just wondered what the prognosis is.
Steve Sonder is working on it. If you need PCRs, if you're like getting in dire straits, call him, because he can move some from some programs that have more.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
We're strictly rationing, but we're not exactly dire yet. Not exactly dire.
if it's starting to look that way, I would call Steve, because he can ship them from, I don't know how he does it with paying postage, but he moves them.
New York State works mysterious.
It does.
There's a lot of stuff Joe and I have learned. We just don't ask. Am I right, Joe?
You just make the assumption that whatever's happening is correct and just let it go by the wayside.
Okay.
Definitely don't question stuff.
Okay, thank you. Any new business for our council?
Just
Yes.
one, actually 2 quick things. We're doing a CC and paramedic rapid refresher that tests in June. Applications are due in April. And City School's been approved to teach AEMT classes now under a course sponsorship. And although it has not been approved, so we cannot advertise it yet, as long as it gets approved, we'll be starting an AEMT course. They'll run Monday, Wednesday nights, starting in May and running through class didactics up through the end of August, and then testing in October after clinical rotations.
I have information on what Howard just mentioned on our website, on the education page. Anybody's interested, there's links there too.
Any other business for this council? If not, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, we adjourn at 13:35, and we next meet on March 20th, which will be the vernal equinox.